anybody's even there. So very sorry to have everybody waiting. It wouldn't go. It wouldn't work. 17 minutes in, right? Let me see if anybody's here. More than likely, nobody, right? Nobody. But I'm gonna do a video anyways. Take up this lifetime, and I'm gonna talk about the Nanobucket and the Anti Nanobucket, designed by Tony Pantallaresco, which is to help remove the excess buildup of the nanotechnology that's going into our body through our air, food, and water, right? They're putting in the food to supposedly help our bodies uptake nutrients, but for a lot of us, it's causing very serious problems. It's like putting sand in a gas tank. It don't belong there, right? So how do we get this buildup of technology, these little fibrous pieces of tech that build up in the body, cause a lot of knee problem, foot problem, hand problems, just problems in our system in general. So a lot of you guys already know how to make Anti Nanobucket. I have videos on my YouTube showing how to make it, how you put your feet in a solution, in a bucket, and then you have wires wrapped around the bucket, and then you put magnets, and I show you how to make a magnet belt, and you put that around the bucket, and then you plug in with the laptop charger this bucket, which is connected to these wires, right? You connect your laptop charger that you modify, right? You modify it, you connect it, and then you plug it into the wall. Just giving a concept for people who don't know about how the bucket works, right? But you put your feet in the bucket that has the magnets, that has the copper wrapped around it, and when you put your feet in there in a solution of like an electrolyte, right? It's a saline water with vinegar, so meaning salt, water, and vinegar. It allows the body's water, the cells in the body, to connect with the water in the bucket, right? It makes a connection, electrical connection. And after 45 minutes to an hour, it starts pulling out all the tech, all the debris that's microscopic, like a hair, right? You can't see it, but when it all come together, you can see it cluster up. And it brings relief to your joints, your feet. It allows for mobility. You're able to move around and just be able to function. And that's the basis of that. I want to show how I modified it, how I turned the regular Anti Nanobucket, which is a large bucket, tape wrapped around it, duct tape wrapped around it with the sticky side out, copper wire wrapped all the way, which is a challenging job to do, and then to make this connective cord, right, to have to modify it and put alligator clips. It's really challenging for people. And so what I did is I ended up modifying it, and I took all the copper wires and I wrapped them the size of a smaller bucket, something I can travel with, right? Instead of a large bucket, because I don't need all that space for my feet. I just need this. Some of you guys have big feet, so you're gonna need a larger bucket, you know, more size. But what I do, so you mean you can do the same thing with what I'm gonna show you right now, how to take the complicated bucket and make a modified, traveling, smaller version of the bucket without the electrical component. That's the challenging part, expensive part, because we end up having to pay a lot of money when these go out, because they go out very often, right? Then we gotta modify it again. It's it's a wreck. It's a wreck when you gotta do it regularly. So what I recognized is that these copper wires, when you have a magnet belt wrapped around it, again, the videos are on my YouTube channel, Truth and Integrity Warrior, how to make a magnetic belt with magnets repelling each other, taping them together so they create distortion in the field, and then you put them in more duct tape, and I have a sequence of 4 doubled magnets, right, creating a repulsion in the magnetic field, meaning a distortion. There's distortion going on. That distortion, when the feet are in the bucket with the saline, end up having the blood goes through the blood, right? This tech goes through the blood because it's running through our veins, and then when it goes through the copper and the magnets, it ends up creating a distortion, and that's how you distort technology. We already know this. We know that if you get a magnet and you put your credit card behind it, the back of the credit card strip, you can erase all the information in the memory in that magnetic strip because it holds information. Well, technology works the same way. You can distort it by distorting this field, and that's what this does, right? Makes non-electrical EMP. So when you have these magnets creating that distortion in the field, and it's around this copper wiring, right? This don't even matter no more. This is just here because I was using the connection, but we're just talking about just copper, 80 rounds, about 80 rounds wrapped in duct tape. What happens is what is left from this field distortion that the magnets create, amplified by the copper, is what ends up happening. And you can check it, that amplification, that energy is running current through your copper wires when you check it with this. I'm going to show you how to check it with this. But my point is we can use the bucket without the electrical connection, and it works. How do you know it works? Because you can feel it. The point here is you feel better, and it's not argumentative about who cares what people think about. Well, it's in your mind. No, it's in my fucking feet, and it's throughout my body, and now I can fucking move where before I couldn't. And so that's all the proof you fucking need, right? You're functioning, and that's what we need to do. We need to fucking function because we're breaking down out here. So it really doesn't matter what people think, it's what you fucking recognize. And I'm showing you what I recognize and what I do. And pretty much how I do it, right? If there's anybody there, it shows that there's 2 people. If you can show me that you're here, it'll help me out a lot. I appreciate it. Let me see. I'll get back to this bucket. I'm sorry I wasn't on. Didn't have it on here on my computer, so I don't even know if there was anybody there or not. I just saw it said 1 person, 2 people. This information, regardless if people are not paying attention, they will be paying attention when they recognize there's fucking technology in the food, and it's been in there for a long fucking time, and that's what part of the huge reason why the bodies are not working and functioning, right? So really my feelings ain't fucking hurt if there ain't nobody here. And it's information that when the person runs across it that needs it, it don't matter. It'll fucking matter. So for whatever reason it's not coming up on my screen. I can't see if there's anybody there. I'll have to wait. I want to go back to talking about this. We can see that magnets that are creating the distortion in the field, what that does is it creates a back and a forth, and that back and forth creates a charge, and that charge is running through this wraparound of rings of copper wire, and when you take away, they have no electricity connected to it. Now we're talking about with no electricity, and I'm going to show you how you can see that there's current running through here from these magnets with no electricity. When you take the magnetic belt off, that they have been there for a good hour, right, 45 minutes, you take the magnetic belt away, you get this right here. I don't know if you guys know what a stud finder is, right? But a stud finder means this right here moves when, I don't know if you guys can see it. A lot of people don't know what this is, but this ends up doing is it finds nails, iron nails in the wall, and it moves, right? It's one of the ways you can find it. It lets you know because this moves. That magnetism is how we're going to see that there's magnetism running through here. So before you even get started, you run this around your copper rings and you'll see it won't move. It doesn't go nowhere. But then after you've had this wrapped around this, around your bucket that sits in it like this, right? And then you have your belt, magnetic belt wrapped around there. Then when you take the magnets off after about 45 minutes and you run this by it, you'll see that it starts moving back and forth because it has current left inside of here. The current that those magnets were creating, right? It's like an engine going back and forth. And that pulse is what we're looking for. That momentum is what we're looking for. That current is what we're looking for to help pull out of the body this debris that gets built up from nanobiotech in the food. And so if we don't have one of these, I'm telling you that it's okay. We don't have to work it like this anymore. I mean, you can. It works stronger. It does. But it takes a whole lot more time and energy to build a bucket like that. And not everybody has the time or the skill to do it. So I'm showing you wrap 80 rings around the size of the bucket you use. I use a small bucket because I got small feet, right? And I don't need all that water. It sits right inside, just like that. Right, sits right inside just like that. You want it to fit your bucket. Yeah, like that. See what I'm saying? And then this guy right here, I wrap it around just like that. I tie it in a knot. Whoops. And it goes around like that. I sit my feet in that 45 minutes to an hour. Pressure release. It's something you gotta feel to know that it's actually working. If you want to see that there's actually current being generated by those magnets in your copper wires, get a stud finder and you can see it for yourself. That was important to share that, right? Can you believe that I still can't see my screen right here? I'm gonna have to refresh. So if anybody's talking, I'm sorry, I can't see it right here and it doesn't show up on my phone. You know, I got 2 people in there. I appreciate you 2 people. I do. I do. I know I said it's open. It's an open chat, and I can't even see my computer, so I can't even see if anybody's saying anything. Oh, Chuck, I can actually see it on here. Hi back, Chuck. I think it shows. Great. So yeah, I can't get my computer to work, but I guess I can see them right here. That's good. So this is a question, answer, question, answer. If anybody has any questions about diet, with this nanotech, how to keep up your immune system through your diet, how our immune system's dropping because of our diet, you know. We're eating nightshade fruits and vegetables and seeds and grains. They're dropping our guard, and if our guard's down, pretty much all the toxicity that we got to deal with in this world, in this life, it's affecting us, and we ain't got time for that. So I show how to keep that guard up, right, at all times and still enjoy food. Any questions about nanobiotechnology and how to help the body push back and strengthen the way I've learned to do, you know? Tony Pateresco, always give him props. He's the godfather of this information. But I've modified a lot of things. I've changed a lot of things. And that's what he expected, you know. Tony expected that people were going to take his ball and run with it. And he did right. He did right by sharing. What else could I possibly talk about? Say supernatural, because we got a whole lot of supernatural shit going on in our world. And if you don't know what's going on, that shit can be pretty fucking scary, right? It's like getting your ass beat by invisible shit you don't know. But you don't get your ass beat when you know what's going on and where it's coming from and how it's working. It's kind of like taking the mask off the scary motherfucker in front of you. Once you rip his fucking mask off, you're ready just to beat his ass because you're not afraid anymore. So it's that fear that keeps us blocked. Chuck, is the nanotechnology that pervasive? So this is a better understanding to the question that you're asking. It's a good question. Nanobiotechnology is in everything in our reality. There is no escaping it. There is no avoiding it. There is no, I live a better lifestyle than that guy, so I don't have it and everybody else does. Nanobiotechnology is so fine and so minuscule, that's why it's called nano, right? That we can't even tell that it's in the air until we get a flashlight. Anywhere you want in the world, the cleanest, most pristine place you find in the world, you can grab a flashlight at night where no lights are around, flash that flashlight and you'll see debris in the air because it's in the atmosphere. The reason why there's technology in the atmosphere is, well, there's a lot of reasons, but one very important reason that not everybody knows is because then you have a screen you can bounce and reflect light off of, meaning you can make three-dimensional images look real when they're not real, right? So you have a screen because you have all this metallic particles in the atmosphere. That's one of many reasons why there's so much nanotech in the air. So we're breathing it in. So when you say pervasive, it means just like it's fucking unavoidable. So what we do, or what I do, is I show how to live in this kind of environment that our great grandparents and our parents didn't live with, didn't teach us how to live amongst this pervasive nanobiotechnology in everything. And so just showing future generations what are we going to do about it right here, right now, and how we're going to get through it. Because this shit will eat you up alive if you don't know what it is. It's always that unresolved issue of a sickness, of a health condition. It's like sand, again, in a gas tank. It shouldn't be there. Technology should not be in our natural biological system. It's fucking us up. So yes, it's very pervasive. It's they're putting it. If you look up food science, nanobiotechnology, and they'll tell you why they're teaching it in colleges, because it's the new thing to get nutrition into the cell because people are unhealthy. That's how it's being sold, right? Yes, super pervasive. What I do to help myself in this world that we're in, that's highly technological and invasive to our biology, right, is you help your cells strengthen and push back the tech that's trying to consume and overtake the cell. And that's with minerals. You can look up nanobiotechnology and sea salt. They repel one another. It's like oil and water. They don't come together. So that means if I load up my cells with minerals every day, regularly, then regularly my cells got a defense and have something to help push them back. By the way, minerals to the body are like nails to a foundation of a house. You take out the nails of the foundation, that fucking house is gonna break. When, where, we don't know, but for sure, that motherfucker's coming down. When we have minerals, we feel that build right back up. Everything just starts working right. You gotta be real sick, take minerals, and feel you come right back up, and to recognize there's a huge, significant fucking difference. Right? I recommend minerals underneath the tongue, liquid, that way it goes right into the bloodstream, boom. Fastest way to get effect of minerals. My YouTube, I show how I make my minerals. That mineral mix is fantastic. If I had money, I'd put that on the market. And I show people how to do it because we need to be copying how to do this. I did that back in 2020, so you gotta scroll down to find how I make minerals, right? There aren't any on the market that I can recommend except for, I'm talking about brands, right? Because they put in their secret recipe, meaning you don't know what's in it, with all these minerals, and then they have a little registered trademark for some special formula they got in there, and it's usually fucked up my skin and my body, lets me know that's dropping my immune system, lets me know it's a no-go. There's not any brand I can tell you to go pick and try. Carrageenan, which is Irish sea moss, you can get that at Irish sea moss, which is Carrageenan is what I'm saying. You can get Irish sea moss, which is full of incredible amount of minerals. You can taste horrible though. I was studying because I was trying to think like how to help you eat that shit. It's hard. It's not easy. But I just recommend a little underneath the again, salivary gland, right underneath the tongue. It triggers an effect. You feel like that little lemon effect. You feel the electrical impulse. It's because your body is getting that electrical impulse from the signals of the information that's in the minerals, that's in the Irish sea moss. You can get that at Walmart for about $12. Really inexpensive. That shit'll last forever. Get a nice, good size, right? You can mix that with a little bit of water. Put in little drops. Boom, boom. Goes right down. Done. You definitely got to get used to the taste of that one. That one don't taste good, but it's the cheapest and fastest. A good for minerals also would be finding a really good sea salt with full spectrum minerals. Put those on little rocks underneath your tongue. That's another way to get minerals really quick. Taking it down into the stomach is not the way to go. Getting in the back of the salivary gland, boom, you get a nice quick electrical connection and effects. B vitamins, letter vitamins, those need to also be taken. amino acids, which are how our proteins are made. We don't have proteins, we have amino acids that connect together that make proteins. That's how it works. That's why cows don't eat protein shakes, cows eat grass. Grass have amino acids. I don't eat anything from the grass family because they drop our immune system. They're called nightshades. Our bodies are not made for nightshades because it drops our immune system for 8 hours and we can't drop the guard. I don't drop my guard, right? And so if my killer cells are down, I got no fucking defense. So I don't touch nothing from the grass family. None. Those are high lectin proteins that are dropping the guard. And I'll explain what the nightshades are. Grass, they're from the grass family. So when cows eat grass, that's good for cows, not for us, right? So the cow's eating the grass, but in that grass, it has all his amino acids that he needs to build his muscles, right? To be strong like a fucking bull. And that's how he builds his proteins. And then when we consume the protein, our body has to break it down in amino acids then to rebuild proteins for us. So it's just better to get the amino acids. Our body builds with those amino acids, those like Lego blocks, right? And it starts structuring the proteins that we need, and we look and feel fantastic. And we need that for structure. We can't build anything without the proteins. We have to have them, right? And proteins are amino acids. I recommend amino acid foods. Foods that have full structure of amino acids. Amaranth is number 1 on my list. In Spanish it's amaranto, English amaranth. You can find amaranth flour made correctly because there's stone ground amaranth and then there's amaranth flour. 2 different things. Stone ground amaranth is the seed of the amaranth crushed, and then people think that's a flour and they're gonna make a shake out of it. And in fact, it's anti-nutrient. It takes away your minerals. It takes away your nutrients. You don't want to take it like that. It needs to be heated, then milled. The amaranth seed needs to be heated, then milled. Once it's milled, meaning pressed, then it turns into a flour. Then that's super effective, and then it creates incredible muscle structure. It has enough protein, not enough protein, I'm sorry, has enough potassium to then start that muscle development. People who don't develop muscle is because they're not being able to uptake enough potassium. That's what I'm trying to say, potassium. They're not getting enough potassium, and without the potassium, you can't take up the amino acids to make the protein. So there's enough potassium in amaranth to maintain beautiful muscle structure without buying protein shakes. I don't buy protein shakes. I consume amaranth every day. That's what I do. And I mix my amaranth with another starch. It has to have another starch, and it's complicated. But I'm going to go through it right here because I've been wanting to talk about it and I haven't. There's a lot of study on this, a lot of research, but it's deep research that you gotta dig for because it's not readily available. If you look it up, you ain't gonna find it. You gotta go into deep research papers to find this. Amaranth spikes the glucose by itself when it's consumed by itself up to 105 to 107. That's on the glycemic index. That's really, really high. That's wonderful for people who are trying to gain mass, gain muscle, and be really big, right, and large. For people who have problems processing sugars, that's really bad. People who are trying to keep their weight down, that's really bad. We're not trying to build up more sugar, right? Don't get me wrong, it ain't bad. But we have so many problems with the body and its function that some people can't even eat an apple without getting sick. They can't eat a grapefruit without fucking getting damaged because their bodies are not working correctly and efficiently, right? So amaranth needs to be taken with another starch for the amaranth not to spike up. And what the amaranth does with another starch, let's say you eat it with a sweet potato or a sweet potato breakfast, right? You have your amaranth that you sprinkle on top of your sweet potatoes that you're frying up. I don't eat potatoes because they're nightshades, so it drops the immune system. So I have a sweet potato. I chop it up, put rosemary, garlic, salt, right, onions, and then when you put the amaranth on top, you sprinkle it on top. The amaranth is going to take the glucose of that sweet potato and lower it. So whatever glucose, meaning sugars, that sweet potato regularly does by itself, because it's combined with the amaranth is going to bring it it lowers its level. That means your body gets this much. I'm giving an example. The body, to explain why that matters, is one, your body's registering less sugar, less glucose, even though it ate a meal this size, but it's registering it like it's this size. That's a big difference. That's very significant. And so that's why I'm able to eat my meals, eat well, plentiful, and not look like I'm blowing up, because my body's registering less sugar every time, because I mix my starches with my amaranth. If that makes sense to people, I hope it does. If you take amaranth by itself, it will spike up your glucose every single time. Guys who like that are people who are bodybuilders and are trying to get bigger and wider muscles. They look to go eat sugar, they look at pasta, anything that'll spike up their glucose. Amaranth is number one, yet nobody knows about it. Because nobody knows or studies amaranth. If you ever want to get any amaranth and start working with it, you can get it here in America. You can find it at Indian stores. That's Hindu Indians. You guys with I hope I'm making it make sense. You guys from India that speak Hindi. You go to find one of their local markets and you look up amaranth. I didn't bring a bag in front of me, or I would have shown you what it looks like, right? Because it's called their name of amaranth. Just look up amaranth in Hindi. It'll tell you. You ask them for that, and they'll show you where to get it. They'll pull you right to it. But that's how you get your amaranth, and that's an incredible, the best, number one on my list for amino acids, for muscle development, structure, strength, energy. It produces nitric oxide. Amaranth produces nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is like blowing wind, air, oxygen on a fire, and that fire is in our cells for mitochondria to get moving. So we got this longer lasting energy and endurance. Amaranth helps repair the intestines because it's a prebiotic. That means it produces the equipment needed for the soldiers, meaning in this case in the intestines, the bacteria, to make more of the good bacteria to fight the bad guys that are the bad bacteria fucking up our operations. Because if our intestines don't work, the information that signals to the brain to work don't work. So the information that we get in our neurology, means our psychology, how we think and we feel, how to operate this organism, this body, right? It comes from the intestines. And if the bacteria, which are the workers working in the vitamin factory, the producers, the big production, it's like the dishwashers in the restaurant. Those motherfuckers don't got what they need and they ain't pumping it out. It ain't working right. Whole fucking restaurants closed down because nothing's working from the base. And that's the core. I was a dishwasher, so I can say that. When we get the intestines working right, which amaranth helps fix the intestines so that the good bacteria overcomes the invasive bad bacteria. We cannot produce the right signals to send the brain chemistry for the psychology and the neurology for our brain functions. And that is, the B vitamins are made here in the intestines. And if they're not working right, our intestines are not working right because the bacteria is off, we got more bad guys than good guys, then that chemistry is not sending the right signals to make serotonin, to make dopamine, to make the neurology work. And so that's why it's so important that what we put into our body, like amaranth, it's there to benefit us and help us grow, prosper, live right, do right. Because we can't find that kind of food no more. We don't find food that's beneficial to us because it has other ingredients slipped into it. So I avoid other ingredients. And I'm going to go into other ingredients. We want to stay away from anything that has an ingredient that's a byproduct of corn that's genetically modified. That genetic modification of the corn is slipping drain cleaner into our system. That drain cleaner, its original name is glyphosate, right? It was made to clean drains. They decided, hey, you know what? Instead of cleaning drains, let's put it on the crops. But it kills crops because it's a fucking killer, right? It's a poison. It's poisonous. Yet when it goes on the crop, to make sure the crop gets to market without dying, they genetically modified the structure of the drain cleaner into the grass grains that I avoid because they drop our immune system. So nightshade, fruits and vegetables, grains and cereals, right? the nightshades naturally, without the glyphosate, naturally drop the immune system. So if you get a crop that we all eat on a regular basis, which those grass grains are wheat, soy, rice, oats, barley, sugarcane. You see what I'm saying? We eat this shit all day, every day, and we're told it's good for us. And now that it drops the immune system naturally, now we found out it drops the immune system naturally, and you have genetically engineered drain cleaner into that species, into the grass species of grains, so that when it gets sprayed with the drain cleaner, because let's go back to its OG origination of what it was made for. It's made to take out minerals from the drain. Taking out minerals are heavy metal debris that gets collected right in a drain. Well, guess what? We're made up of metals, and it keeps our psychology and our neurology working right. They're called enzymes. It's proteins with a metal center. And if we have something that takes out metal, like drain cleaner, we got a fucking problem. Anybody notice that our psychology and our neurology is all fucked up worldwide, and everything seems to be fucking breaking down? Well, that's what's going on. We have genetically engineered drain cleaner into the food, the grass grains that we eat the most, that drop our immune system naturally. So like a Trojan horse, immune system drops because it's natural to the nature of those grass grains, and then because there's drain cleaner in it, it's going in and just overtaking our system, unraveling us from the inside out, and nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows what's happening. It'll just have to stay in theory. And as long as we fucking stay in theory instead of pointing shit out and holding motherfuckers accountable and making fucking changes and adjustments that we need, we're going to become finished. Beyond unraveled and just go straight to finished, right? So these are the things that I pay attention to. I stay away from anything modified food starch, genetically engineered corn. Now that I explained to you why I stay away from engineered corn, because of the drain cleaner, now that shit's gonna make sense. I stay away from dextrose. I stay away from, I should have had a list written down. I'm gonna have to make you guys a list, because just thinking about them, I can't remember them. They're long names, but there's a long list of names that you guys do that I avoid, because it's engineered corn is what it is, and it goes in as other ingredients that don't need to be in our food for us to eat. Silicone dioxide, right? It's coming to me, right? If I get put on the spot and have to remember, I go into a fucking blink. But if I have it written down, I'll go down the list. But they're slipping the engineered corn with drain cleaner into other ingredients that's in all of our food products that we buy. It's even in the meat. It's in the toothpaste. I mean, I brought a couple things so you guys can see how much our immune system is being dropped. That it's not I just check my food. It's my toothpaste, it's my cream, it's my gel, it's my shampoo. When it goes on the skin, right into the bloodstream, our immune system drops, and those of us who are physically affected by this nanotech, what happens is it rips through our skin because the guard is down, skin starts tearing up, we're bleeding on a regular fucking basis, and to repair from that takes months. If you stop eating foods, they're dropping the immune system, and putting creams that are dropping the immune system, and brushing our teeth with shit that's dropping our immune system, and the other ingredients is where this is coming from. So we're getting this drain cleaner engineered food products, and I don't even know what to call them. Fucking all the products that we consume have this fucking drain cleaner in it that's dropping our immune system and fucking with our psychology, our neurology, right? Our physicality, and we're breaking down. So I avoid it. So I'm just going to show you some of the toothpaste. So this toothpaste right here is the one I recommend because it's one I take, right? It doesn't have any soy that drops the immune system. Most toothpaste all have some type of soy something, right? Or some type of corn something in the other ingredients. This is the one. Stay nice and safe with this one. I get this one at Sprouts. You can also get this one online. My sister recommended this one to me. It's a great one. Soap. When we go wash our hands, we're in a public bathroom. If we don't pay attention to the soap that we have in our house, it's dropping our immune system. Going back to public restrooms, they got soaps. Most of them drop the immune system because the soaps, their finishing oil that they use to be able to moisturize, leave a moisturizing finish at the end of using the soap for hand washing or body soaps. I'm a soap maker, so I know how this works and why I'm saying what I'm saying. They use oils that drop the immune system, like canola, sunflower, corn oil, vegetable oil. I'm calling out all the oils I don't touch, right? They call them seed oils. So these seed oils are in the finishes of our body soaps and our hand soaps, our products, our creams. So when you go wash your hands and you don't know why your skin's constantly tearing, if you're fixing your food and you made the adjustment in your food, but your skin's still all fucked up, we gotta go start looking at what am I washing my hands with, what am I brushing my teeth with, what gel am I putting in my hair? All these things go boom right into the system, and then the skin starts tearing because it's just the immune system's down. And this motherfucking tech, you can feel it running through your tongue, you can feel it running through your skin. Skin starts opening up, and we look like fucking crack addicts. And I am not a crack addict, right? I'm far fucking away from a crack addict, but yet I look like one, not knowing this shit was going on. I suffered a lot, just like a lot of you guys are still suffering right now, and I'm trying to share as much information as I can. Let me see, who do we got? Sandman, Mr. 22. It's in almost everything. We have to be diligent. Oh, absolutely. And I agree with you 100%. And in being diligent, guess what? There's a good fucking side effect. You get stronger, younger, faster, and fucking better. You just get fucking better. I'm gonna be 51 next month, right? I am tooting my own fucking horn. I'm gonna be fucking 51. I can spar with 20-year-old young men. I am the results and the effects of what the fuck I'm talking about. I've been doing this diet change, and it's been taking me fucking years to figure out about the soap, and it just, what yes, what no, what's right, what's wrong, and I'm just trying to share it with you guys so you don't have to go through all the fucking years and maybe not even make it. I mean, when you're giving up, and just say, fuck it, I'm gonna eat anything and I'm gonna use anything because I'm gonna always be like this. Fuck that noise. Get on your high horse and save yourself. Seriously. Being vigilant is absolutely necessary. So I told you guys about the soaps. I didn't tell you which brand this one is. I carry this one with me everywhere I go. It's a little container. You can go buy the big one and then buy yourself a bunch of little containers and then fill them up. This Pantene one right here. I buy them because they have EDTA. EDTA helps to repel the tech that falls on the skin and be leaving round spots. Everybody got these spots all over the arms. I suffered that for a long time, and I had to work to get that shit off. And what I recognize is when we use EDTA and, give me a second right here, and sodium benzoate. Those two combinations, I got a video where I talk about those two combinations and how it repels and breaks down the tech outside the body and inside the body. This conditioner right here of that same Pantene shampoo, I use the shampoo again to wash my hands in public places. In my house, I just use an olive oil soap that has an olive oil finish so that the finish is not canola oil, or the finish doesn't have in the ingredients sunflower oil or safflower oil. Those drop the immune system because they're nightshades. You can't touch them. Oh, I can't touch them. I won't touch them, right? So I just keep it nice and simple. I take this everywhere I go so that when I'm in a public restroom, I can wash my hands and my skin don't start fucking breaking up on me after being so diligent on my diet. And then I still got this fucking problem. I had to figure that shit out. It took me forever to figure what's breaking down on me. What am I doing different? And I wasn't doing anything different in my food, but why was my skin on my face tearing up regularly? And what I figured out was I was going to take this course to get my CDL every day, and I'd use their restroom, and I'd be using their soap, and it was such on a regular basis. I couldn't get my skin to be right. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? My diet's the same. I figured The only thing I'm doing different right now is I'm using this soap right here that they got in their dispensers, right? So I switched it up, and I went and I got my shampoo that I use, right? And it made all the difference. My skin was able to start healing up, and from there, I just make sure I take this my pajama with my purse everywhere I go. Period. For washing dishes, you don't have to worry about the finish because dish soap doesn't have a finishing oil. All the oils get cooked out through the soap making process, so you don't have to worry about what oils they used um, to make that soap because the leftover finish that goes in at the end of soap making, they put the oil in at the end and you get that oil on the body, right? In body soap and hand soap. But in dishwashing, I use Dawn. I just get the regular no scent Dawn dishwashing soap. Can you use other soaps? I don't know. You go figure that shit out. I keep to one basic type of thing because it rips up my skin to find out. I have to suffer a lot to find out. I got torn skin, and then I gotta heal that to find out which one works. When I find one that works, I'm keeping that motherfucker, and we're just gonna be working together. And so I use Dawn dish soap for my dishes. No happy scents, just regular Dawn. JLF. Yes, Chuck. Yes, it's very pervasive, Chuck. Correct. I'm with you, JLF. JLF. They put nanoparticles into shampoo. It's all in. It's all in the patents. So here's the thing. I don't tell people that they can avoid nanobiotech. It's fucking. It's like being in the ocean and getting and pointing at motherfuckers for being wet when we're all in this motherfucker together. We're all wet. We're all in the ocean. Meaning there is no escaping the nanotech. But we can avoid dropping our immune system that defends the internal actions of our body that actually have to face this nanotech that's in our body, help them keep their guard up, give them tools by feeding them nutrients, load up the soldiers. I call myself soldiers, and I load them up on a regular, and it makes me stronger, it makes me fucking better, it makes me rejuvenated, renewed, capable, and able. So helping our soldiers, meaning ourselves, makes us better because how they look on the inside is how we reflect on the outside. That's what we got going on. It's very sad that we never knew this before, or we would have been helping ourselves long fucking time ago and not gone through aging process, because we don't age if we put in the amino acids that we start losing as we get older. It's a real simple equation, but we're told that it's not true, so we don't go by and do it, right? We're told we only need, an example, 1 milligram of B1. That's the recommendation. Well, we should have at least 300. Look into B1, and that's thiamine, vitamin B1. I take personally TTFD and benfotiamine because the body takes up to 95% of that. The hydrochloride and what's the other one? The monohydrate, it's less. I don't even try them. I've never tried them, but because they're so low on the scale of 30% absorption, I don't feel I should be wasting my time. I work now only with the TTFD because I haven't been able to find a clean benfotiamine since last month. They found, I found that the benfotiamine that I was taking changed its brand look. And I was like, why would you change your look? Let me go check your ingredients. They fucking sold out, and now they got silicone dioxide, which is corn, basic corn, right? Genetically modified corn. I can't take that shit no more. It was so good and so perfect. Now I can't take it. So now I gotta go find another brand maker who doesn't have it. And the only B vitamin maker on the market that I found that's clean from top to bottom, head to toe, left to right, is Elliot Overton. He's a nutritional specialist. He's a nutritional therapist, nutritional therapist. You can find his YouTube channel, Elliot Overton, and it's Objective Nutrients is the name of his brand. Objective Nutrients, the best B vitamins period. He is the Mike Tyson of B vitamins. He's making them for the same reasons I'm talking about. We're being depleted, and we need to uptake, to reload and redo. And you can hear it from his version, but we all need B1. Seriously, if there's an emergency in the world and our oxygen starts getting cut out, B1 puts that oxygen right back. It takes the oxygen out of the blood into the cell. That's how important B1 is. You need to have it in your house on a regular basis. You start noticing like the toilet paper tragedy that we had back in 2020, if you guys know what I'm saying. People started losing oxygen, couldn't breathe because their cells are being drained and pressed, lack of oxygen, and then boom, they die, right? Take 300 milligrams to 100 milligrams. Let me go back. Benfotiamine is 300 milligrams. TTFD is 100 milligrams. Reason I'm saying that is TTFD is much stronger than benfotiamine, from what I recognize. So 200 milligrams of TTFD is a type. TTFD is a type of thiamine. You can find it on Elliot Overton's page. 200 milligrams of that is like rocket fuel for me. 300 milligrams of benfotiamine is nice and normal, feel good, but not fucking rocket fuel. So I'll be very slower to take the TTFD because it's so strong, and the benfotiamine at 300 is regular, good. I'm ready to go. I never even needed to take 600 milligrams. I never needed to take 2 because I was just good with the 300. And that's the benfotiamine. But now that I can't find any clean benfotiamine on the market that doesn't have corn fucking mixed into it, I'm just going right now with my TTFD, and that's a very long word, so that's why it's abbreviated. I can't remember it. I don't have it right here, right in front of me. But that TTFD thiamine megadose B1, 100 milligrams, oxygen from the blood right up into the cell right now. 20 minutes, you're not the same person. You got energy, you got fuel, real fuel for the cells. Goes right up in the mitochondria, and that's real energy. All right, again, Objective Nutrients, Elliot Overton. If you take a TTFD and you don't feel it, more times than likely, go check and see if you're methylating or not. Methylated folate is what I recognize by trial and error, trying it with a lot of people who don't feel the energy that the thiamine, that the TTFD B1, thiamine B1 gives in 20 minutes. Don't feel that? More than likely it's because they're not opening up a function in the body that it's called methylation process, right? So they need methylated folate to uptake all the other nutrients. And people who are not methylating usually are the people who are the narcissists of our world. That narcissistic behavior is because they're not uptaking nutrients, so they become degraded, aggressive, negative. We just start downgrading. And I've given it to a narcissist, the methylated folate, then back it up with more B vitamins, and voila. Good relations, happy conduction, happy life. I'm saying this is somebody personal to me. And I don't know if they want me to put them on blast on who they are, but I've watched their relationship go into complete failure where they were going to separate, they were not going to take it no more. And this person loved this narcissistic person. Loved, but they had to leave them because they had to create barriers to say enough is enough. I said, give this a try. I think the person is not methylating. They're not uptaking the B vitamins. They're not going to be okay unless they take the methylated folate, right? Again, Elliot Overton has methylated folate B vitamins. Take the methylated folate. Then when she takes up other nutrients, her ability to think and process information, to feel, to harmonize, to balance her surroundings and what's going on, she was able to then come, well, fuck it, I'm going to say it. It's my son and his girlfriend. They now have a balanced relationship. They went from narcissistic behaviors. Why do I know it? Because I know what it is to have a narcissist, love a narcissist, and not be able to be with a narcissist and create boundaries. But my son was living in the same environment with his girlfriend that was a narcissist, and now because they made that adjustment and tried the vitamins and got the uptake, the behaviors changed. They're now looking at possible marriage. I mean, this is a beautiful thing, and I've talked about it in my other videos, but now I'm sure about it because the time has passed. The behaviors are there. The correction has been made. So people who don't feel the energy surge that megadosing with B1 thiamine, they don't feel it. And when I'm talking about the 100 megadose of 100 milligrams and above, not 1 milligram, but 100 milligrams and above. Again, go to Elliot Overton's page. Talk all about it scientifically. Give you all the fucking data you need and research. I'm telling you from lived perspective, watching behaviors, taking it myself, recognizing, seeing what's working, what's not working. You know, straight up ghetto street style. When something fucking works, you fucking roll with it. That is your data, right? It is your data. And the methylated folate will then need to be taken because you're not uptaking nutrients. Their behaviors can't get corrected. You can't expect somebody to change what they're doing if the fucking neurology is not working right, because we got all that fucking drain cleaner fucking us up, or our thinking processes can't fucking work. And no matter how much vitamins and minerals we take, we ain't fucking uptaking them because half of America doesn't uptake nutrients. We're way off the fucking rails, and we gotta try to get back on. And that's what I'm trying to do with putting in this information. You know, I'm so sorry, so pieced. You know, I want it streamlined and fucking organized so that we're just like 1 + 2 = 3. Let's fucking go. Let's get our lives back on track and get fucking strong, because we're breaking down. We're being broken down. We got Sunman22. Elliot is very knowledgeable when it comes. I'm trying to see if it extends what you said, because it doesn't. It just says when it CO. But yeah, I call him the Mike Tyson of B vitamins. And you can't fuck with that boy. He'll fuck you up. I mean, with data. He'll fuck you up with data. Yeah, he's very knowledgeable when it comes to B1. Absolutely. He's a go-to man. Yeah, his research is amazing. He went back from past 1930s to find the real data, because that's when our natural nutraceuticals went into, meaning natural foods, natural herbs, where medicines actually come from, because those are the healers, the plants and the herbs on the planet. What's been provided for us is how we heal. It went into pharmaceuticals from the 30s. So everything from the 30s back, erase that shit, get rid of that, burn them fucking books, get rid of all of it. So that everything gets now imposed with pharmaceuticals. And that pharmaceutical is putting a Band-Aid on a pile of shit. Meaning you got to clean the shit up for there not to be a need for a Band-Aid. You know? And so that's what we got going there. It works, guys. The B1 is part of what the thiamine is, what our DNA is made up of, and we're becoming unraveled. The drain cleaner is unraveling us of all the fucking toxicity in the world. Drain cleaner in the food system is number fucking 1, because we can't get our fucking thinking right, our behaviors. That affects our behaviors. How are we gonna change behaviors? Not by telling somebody the same fucking thing over and over. If the chemistry, if the connection, if the wiring ain't right, right? And it's called our neural pathways. They're all from electrical impulses, from information. It's coming from the intestines, and our intestines is the factory for all of that vitamin production and information, and it's getting fucked up with the foods that we're eating. Besides them being commercial, besides them being industrial, let's hit the fucking nose on the money on the nose. I don't know what that fucking slogan is or that saying, but let's hit that motherfucker right in the bullseye. And that's the drain cleaner. When we recognize it's drain cleaner, not herbicide, because they call it herbicide, and we don't give a fuck about herbicide, but when you say fucking drain cleaner, you say, what? Let's back up a fucking second. Let's back up a minute. You said drain cleaner? Yeah, it takes out metals, and metals are proteins that are called enzymes, and without them, we don't fucking work right. So that's the basis of that for your B vitamins, objective nutrients. For those of you who came on a little bit late, I showed how I make the new ring. I don't use this anymore to connect this anymore because I don't use this anymore. I just go straight to a ring instead of wrapping 80 rounds on a bucket. I get a small bucket, put in the same fluid of water, sea salt, and vinegar to make an electrolyte, and I duct tape 80 rounds of copper wire so that I put my bucket right in it. I wrap the magnets, and if you guys haven't seen it, I got a video on my YouTube shows you how to make this magnet belt with repelling speaker magnets. They repel each other. They're creating a distortion in the field. This distortion in the field creates that friction. That friction creates a current, a charge, and it runs through, because it's amplified through the copper, and you put your feet in the bucket, and it works. It is more powerful when you have the electrical connection, but a lot of times that's just not doable for a lot of people. So just letting you know that's si funciona, it works. You'll know because you feel better. You know, you're able to move your feet again. That pain in the joints goes away. Just overall well-being, because we start removing that loads up and builds up at the base of our feet. Really everywhere, right? But at the base of our feet is where everything loads up. All right, guys, it's 8:13. Been here for an hour. I hope the information helped. Just a little recap. Pay attention to what you're putting on your body, because it's the same thing as what we're putting into our mouth. We want to stay away from anything that's a nightshade. Nightshades naturally drop the immune system, and the drain cleaner is being engineered into those nightshades because they drop the immune system. It's the perfect combination, Trojan horse, you know. Catch them off guard. They don't know that nightshades drop the immune system. Line it up with the drain cleaner and genetically engineer that drain cleaner so the food gets to market. It's not dead. Those plants aren't dead. They don't look dead, but they're loaded with fucking drain cleaner. Weed in that shit. That's in our toothpaste. It's in our shampoos and the finishing oils. It's in the other ingredients. And it's just ripping our ass apart. And if we can't see how it's working, we'll never be able to get a hold of it and knock it out. So I'm trying to show how I knock it out of my routine so that I can strengthen and safeguard my body and move and chuck along in this motherfucker because it's rough. It is. I'm going to be calling it a night. Thank you guys for showing up. Hope the information helped. And next Monday, I'm just going to keep doing this every Monday for an hour. Sorry about starting late, but the time will be 7 o'clock. And any questions, we'll just keep going back and forth, okay? You guys be well. Truth and integrity warrior. Peace out.